Super excellent news for all of you who are struggling with the PT Speaking Summarize Group Discussion, because in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 very easy and effective techniques that can be the simplest to use to solve this question and get full marks in Summarize Group Discussion, which also contributes to your listening scores. And if you thought speaking 90 score is impossible, then you should have a look at our YouTube posts where our students are getting 90 out of 90 in the PT speaking module using the techniques that we are showing to you as well as the resources that we offer. So watch it till the end, like and subscribe. Hey everyone, this is Anurag here from Edutrainex PT. I hope you all are doing great. Our students, our live class students, are proving that using the effective techniques with the help of proper AI feedbacks that gives you a pinpoint direction how to improve, the 90 score cracking in the PT exam is not an impossible thing to do. So definitely, if you are interested to get such useful feedbacks, you have to go to www.edutrainex.com and register yourself either free or you can choose some of the packages that we offer. So there are 2 ways to get yourself access to this live AI that gives you excellent feedbacks. Either you take the self-preparation package or you do WhatsApp us or Telegram us to become our live class student. Then also you get unlimited access to this AI. And if you just need a little bit boost up to your preparation because you're already preparing from somewhere, you need the exam questions, repeated questions, or you need the vocabulary list, spelling list, grammar ebooks, as well as the repeated questions, templates, exclusive access to videos. We do offer 2 types of memberships on our channel, YouTube Priority and YouTube VIP. You can explore and see what suits you. All the links that I talked to you about are mentioned in the description. You just go to the description and you will find everything there. So let's watch it till the end. Hit like and subscribe. Let's understand the Summarize Group Discussion questions first, and then we will also do a demo question how you can succeed in the exam. Definitely a big boost to your listening as well as to your speaking scores. Now, Summarize Group Discussion was a question that appeared as a trial question last year, but now it is part of the academic and UKVI. This is not part of the PT core exam. And it appears at the 6th position after you finish the normal and the usual questions that were part of the PT academic and UKVI before. After that, you will get Summarize Group Discussion. Audio length is quite long, 2 to 3 minutes audio. This is a longer version of retail lecture. And if you are master in retail lecture, then this question is again going to be easier for you. So no transcript is given. Note this point. There is no transcript given to you like respond to situation. Don't get confused. This is a group discussion between multiple people and you have to take down notes. And after the audio, you only get 10 seconds to sort yourself out, to prepare your notes, sort your notes out, and then start speaking. The expected time of response from you is around 2 minutes. But if you want to cover the content part, because as you know, this question is also going for a human review. So it's better to speak as much content as possible. Around 1.5 minutes will be the best. 2 to 3 questions is what Pearson says they will give you, but they can't give you more than 2 because each question takes around 5 minutes. 3 minutes for the audio and 2 minutes for you to attempt. So it consumes a lot of time, and definitely there will be around 3 speakers that you have to listen to. We'll show you the layout shortly. And trick number 1 as well. So when you take the exam, this is what you are going to see on the screen. And this will give you a hint that this kind of image is Summarize Group Discussion question. So trick number 1 is please get your pen and notepad, the marker and notepad, whatever you are getting in the exam to take down your notes, you have to get ready with that. And it's also important to note down the first sentence very, very properly. Note down the keywords from the first sentence because that will become your introduction. At the very beginning, it will say to you something like 3 speakers or 3 students are discussing about something. So 3 is the number of the speakers that you already got. Note it down and what exactly they were talking about. So this will clearly become our introduction. That's how we will also summarize the discussion. So trick number 2 is, because this is also a conversation based question, you can try to visualize and understand, position yourself in the group that is discussing or having that discussion, that you will be able to visualize what exactly they are talking about and what are their views. So trick number 2 is to do that and then also to take down as many keywords as possible. Don't worry about too much grammatical words or writing down the phrases, because writing down the phrases, what happens is you lose the time. The audio will not stop for you to take down the whole phrase, and they will keep on talking about different things, different ideas. So importance is to note down the keywords. So tip number 1 is focus on your listening and the understanding. So even if the audio moves a little bit ahead, you are still able to grasp what the ideas or the important points were discussed. So tip number 2 is you have to listen properly, put your focus on listening, and then you have to scribble down the notes. Don't focus too much on writing it down, but make sure that whatever you are writing, it's readable back to you. Don't write like doctors. Otherwise, you won't be able to read the prescription. So write it a little bit clearly, give some space. I'll show you in the next slide how exactly you have to write it down. Tip number 3 is you have to use shortcut conventions. If you use shortcut conventions, because there will be so many people talking around, how you have to make notes is serial wise. First things first, you already noted down the introduction. Then the next points are whoever speaks first becomes the speaker number 1 or the first speaker. Whoever speaks second becomes speaker 2 and speaker 3. So you try to put it down in sequence, but even if you are confused which person was speaking what, you just continue in the order. Speaker 1, 2, 3, speaker 1, 2, 3. You have to try and match it with the speaker, but even if you are not able to, it's not the end of the world. We have already tried this scenario in the exam questions, in the official mock test, and it doesn't cause any negativity on your scores. It still gives you a perfect score. So we do have to try, but if we can't, it's not the end of the world. So continue making notes. Around 30 to 35 keywords have to be noted down because we need to speak for around 1.5 minutes. So I'm going to talk about some shortcut techniques right over here so that you understand. The first one is contractions. Contractions is like abbreviation. So instead of, if you hear cannot, don't write cannot, you have to write can't with an apostrophe, or even while making notes, even if you are not taking apostrophe, taking down apostrophe, it still makes sense to you. So that's the trick number 1. And then you can use a few letters instead of the big letters or big words that you listen. For example, if you hear the word information, it's a very popular form. Info is used as the short form. Even between, you can note it down like this, between. The other words like engine, you can note it down like this. Engineers, you can note it down like this. Management, you can note it down like this. The third shortcut note-taking technique is something that plays with your mind. So if I write a word and if I eliminate vowels from it, I can still understand the word that I have written. So I have eliminated the vowels here, and because I am listening to a topic related to rockets, I will not read it back as rackets. Okay, that is also a possibility, but this is what is a shortcut technique or note-taking technique that can work effectively in your favor. And the other techniques that you have to use is you use hyphens and arrows to show relations. So for example, if you have noted down a word over here, a management of rockets. So if you have already noted down management and rockets, just make an arrow. What is the management about? Or if you're talking about relationship, information exchange between the engines and the engineers, just connect it with hyphens or arrows. So these are the type of convention that will help you to understand what you have written it down. And when you are trying to give a response or make a response out of it, it will become much more meaningful and very, very effective. So try this approach first. And now what we are going to talk about is the template or the structure, which becomes the trick number 3 for you. Because without a structure, there is no response. Okay, so the first things first, you have to follow a proper structure. And what we mean by a structure is an introduction, then the whole thing is the body, and in the end you provide some kind of conclusion, because this is a discussion. What conclusion did the group agree on? That also we need to provide. 3 main elements of this particular response. If you deliver all of them, satisfy all the criteria, then definitely you will get the full points. And how do we start is, we mention how many speakers we're talking about, the first set of notes that we took down. That becomes your introduction. And after that, we have made a detailed template as well for this, and there is a dedicated video as well for that. So if you want to have a look in detail how the template looks, how we have to take down notes and how it works, you can look at that video. But we are going to do a short demo here as well. So this is just a trimmed down template or structural based template, just to show you how we connect the responses together. The first speaker, okay? And then if you see, we are using connectors, which is also called as conjunctions, transition words, whatever you want to call them. But this is what it does. It connects your ideas together, makes it a very smooth response, make it very structured response. Okay, coherent response. That is what we need to achieve. This is what the Pearson study guidelines tell you. Present a coherent response, and this structure, this kind of structure, there is no specific order of this. You can use also before, after, some of them later, moreover, additionally, lastly, and as you can see, we are just shuffling around the speakers. First speaker, second speaker, third speaker. Sometimes we talk about them collectively together. Some of them third speaker, first and second, then multiple speakers, then all speakers. In the end, we try to group it as collectively together. They agreed on something, or in the end they agreed on something. The group agreed on something, or all the speakers agreed on something. That's how you have to conclude. Okay. So now let's do a short demo, and before the demo, I want to talk to you about the trick number 4, which is equally important. First things first is that hesitations is our number one enemy. So please try to make your responses smooth. When we go to the Edutrainex platform and practice, then you will see that the graph has to be connected. Only when you are taking pauses between the sentences, only then the graph has to be disconnected. So that is hesitation, no fumbles, don't try to correct anything. Whatever said is said. Don't try to fix it. And grammar is not marked here. So be fluent in your response, whether you make tenses mistake or any type of prepositional mistakes, it does not matter. Just speak confidently, speak freely. That is the number one aim, and also speak clearly. One problem over here, if you keep repeating the same things, or if you have noted down only few things, even if you are just repeating the same things, try to paraphrase or do it in a different manner. Saying the same phrase again and again is not going to help you, because in the end, it is going for a human review. It will be flagged. Repeated responses or pre-memorized sentences will be flagged for a human review, and they will understand what you were trying to do. And lastly, you should speak enough. Don't speak for 40 seconds. Don't speak for 30 seconds. Don't even speak for 1 minute. Try to be close to 1.5 minutes, which is like 75% of the given time. The expected time is 2 minutes. So that's why we are saying at least speak for 1.5 minutes. If you speak 1 minute, then content wise, you may lose the edge. You will not have that much content to cover. Now let's go to the Edutrainex platform, and this is what you see, the questions that we have, and it will automatically start playing. But in this case, I have already kept it here so that we listen and attempt the questions. Okay, so now we will play the audio and we will take down the notes. I'm trying to type it right in front of you, but ideally in the exam, you will be scribbling it down. So that will be much more faster.
Of 3 students are discussing ideas about how to make their campus more environmentally friendly.
So, I've been thinking a lot about the environment lately, and that we should be looking at how to make the campus greener. We've got recycling bins for cardboard and cans, but that's only scratching the surface. We could be a lot more proactive. I've heard that ink and printer cartridges can nearly always be recycled, so that could be one starting point.
Yeah, and don't forget batteries too. All the raw materials can be extracted from them for the manufacturers to reuse. So you're conserving energy, reducing pollution, and helping the economy. You know, that's another thing we could be doing. But what can we do to encourage students to actually try and recycle more? It'd be good if we could offer some incentive.
What if we asked the university to do a competition to get students to design some kind of artwork promoting recycling? I reckon people would be you for that. But what would the winners get?
I think we need to draw people in somehow, create a buzz and get them talking about it, and then actually doing the recycling. Maybe the winner's artwork could be displayed on the university website homepage and in the main building foyer. And then, in practical terms, we'd also need more allocated drop-off points for recyclable items. I mean, at the moment there aren't very many places for people to recycle stuff, so it just goes to the regular garbage.
Yeah, great idea about displaying the artwork in a place everyone can see it. And maybe for the first couple of weeks after the new recycling points have been introduced, we can get a group of volunteers in those fluorescent yellow high visibility jackets to hand out flyers or just let people know about them.
Yes, well, we need it to become a habit so that the next time a student has some cardboard or paper to recycle, they remember to take their used ink cartridges or batteries with them too. And we can pass the info about the competition and the recycling points to those 2 final year students who do that really popular weekly podcast for the campus. We could also ask them to build in a regular time slot to talk more about the environment and being greener on the campus to keep the dialogue going. We don't want to lose momentum. There's always the danger that we have a couple of months of change and then we all go back to how we were before.
Oh yes, that's a good idea. They are great, those two podcasters. I know loads of people who listen to them. There will also be others who listen to their podcasts who can offer good ideas about other steps we can take. So that should hopefully help maximize our chances of reaching as many students as possible.
Okay, so you saw how many things I was able to note down, definitely around 30, 35. Some of the words were repeated and some typing mistakes could also happen when you are writing. So collectively, what you need to do is speak the response back in terms of using the template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the recorder on. I'll put the template on one side and notes on one side so that I can tally and read them together. Three students were discussing about how to make their campus more environmental friendly. The first speaker talked about how to make the campus greener, including the recycling bins, cardboards, and cans. Then the second speaker also talked about being more proactive related to ink and printer cartridges. Also, the third speaker talked about batteries and raw materials from the manufacturers in order to save energy and also boost the economy. He also added that we need to encourage the students using some kinds of incentives. Together, some of them had ideas related to the competition and artwork in order to promote recycling. Then the first speaker also talked about making it a buzz and also promote it by announcing the winners on the website and also introduce new drop-off points where people can also be able to recycle more the garbage related to the campus. Moreover, the first and the second speaker also talked about new points as well as the volunteers wearing fluorescent jackets and distributing flyers. Later, the third speaker also said that we have to make it as a habit in order to recycle and don't lose the momentum. Lastly, all the speakers talked about the students who create podcast in the campus and which is very popular. And in the end, the group agreed that this is a great idea that will maximize the chances using the podcasts. Okay, so as you can see, roughly I spoke around 1 minute 30, 1 minute 37 seconds while I was transitioning. I lost some of the time in the middle, in the beginning, but as you can see, the remaining of the graph is very, very constant or very, very smooth, coherent, what I meant to say. So once I get a response, definitely I will get a very good score with this kind of response. Okay, now we have got the score, what we attempted, the same question, the same response that I spoke. As you can see over here, the pronunciation accuracy part is analyzed here. Most of the words that I spoke was in the excellent and very good zone, but some as well in the poor zone. But as you can see, overall collectively, the pronunciation is still above 89, 88, whatever you need to do. And on this platform, if you are able to get this kind of scores, then definitely in the real exam, you will get a 90 score. That's a guaranteed. Now we have matched it very, very close to be exactly like the PT exam in the current state. So people who are getting 90s in the exam, our students, they are also getting this type of scores on our platform. So it's only plus minus 5% variability that you get, but it's very, very close to what you get in the real exam. Now, as you can see, the pauses is also an important parameter of assessing your response. If you're putting too many pauses, that means you're not fluent in your response. So that means that you have to make your graph smoother. The speaking graph that we were talking about over here in the background, you see how it's completely connected, and only where I intended to pause, that's where I was changing the sentences. Now, if you'll see the remaining feedback, it's mind-blowing. It's very, very excellent way of providing how you can improve. If you have begun nicely, it will say an excellent start, average response, or good start. These kind of statements will appear depending on how many words you have used relevant or whether you have started it as a proper way of introduction or not. And please, no sentences that you speak should be generic. Everything should be contextual, whether it's speaking response or writing response, because the Pearson exam has done these changes, and try to include relevant keywords in every response and phrases, okay, not just keywords. So as you can see, these keywords are identified, but I spoke everything as phrase, not just as keyword, this. Don't speak it in that way. Try to make sense out of it, make it a phrase. And conclusion as well, it was able to identify. See, I said maximize the chances podcast, so it was able to recognize the relevance of the conclusion to the audio that I presented, and I spoke more than 90 seconds, so that is also good. And if you continue seeing the feedback that you get for the oral fluency part, the speed wise, whether I was speeding properly, whether I was speaking in a proper speed, confident speed, and whether my pausing was appropriate, the response delivery was appropriate. Did I make my response smoother using transition and conjunctions? So that also is also captured by the AI and shown to you. If it will be less, then it will not be excellent. It will be average or good. That indicates to you how you have to improve in your responses. And no other website offers you such a feedback what Edutrainex portal offers you. There are free plans as well. Of course, free plans are limited, so you can purchase something according to what your needs, but definitely this is a guaranteed way of improvement in your exam preparation. I hope that gives you 100% clarity about Summarize Group Discussion. Now this task should not be a headache for you. Very soon I am going to make a full video on the full course of speaking and how you can get a perfect 90 just like the way our students are getting. And in the meantime, if you want unlimited access to this particular portal, along with the live classes, the way we engage with you, the way we give you the feedbacks and the directions how to improve, that will be a game changer. So do WhatsApp us or Telegram us if you're looking for live training on the PT exam, any core, academic or UKVI. And if you're just looking for the boost ups that we said, exam questions, vocabulary list, spelling list, templates, grammar ebooks, then we do offer two types of memberships, YouTube Priority and VIP. You need to go and take a look at it. And in the meantime, if you haven't seen the video that we published recently on the tricks associated with respond to situation, go and watch it now. Keep watching Edutrainex and I'll soon be back with another super informative video on PT topics. See you soon.